All right, good to see everybody. Fire away.
Yeah, Mac Wilson said that last year after the injury, he thought about retirement because he wasn't the same player. Did you sense that level of frustration with him last year?
Maybe not to that level, but I think it points out that everybody's dealing with things, in the course of a season, and we go through adversity as a team, and sometimes you go through personal adversity. But really pleased with where Mac is right now, physically and mentally.
Anybody back today or anybody new not going to be practicing?
You'd have to ask me specifics.
Like Tack and Schwartz, any they back?
Schwartz is working through a hamstring. Tack is excused. He's excused for personal reasons, but expect him back.
Kevin, you have to evaluate all these guys, and you're going to have some tough decisions at the end of the month. Just from your perspective, I'm referencing guys like Greedy and Mac, and you have so many good guys in the locker room and on the team. How difficult is it for you as the coach to separate football from the personal side of the business?
Well, I think you're right, Daryl. That there is a personal aspect to this. We talk about being a family, we act like it. We try to act like it. So it's difficult when you got to release players. I've said it before. I'd love to keep everybody. It's just not the reality of the National Football League, and so until that time comes, we're going to just compete every single day, and I think the guys are doing a nice job of that.
Kevin Greedy said he thought it was a milestone in his comeback to get the pads on and get it teed the other day. What was the significance from your perspective? Were you happy for him, and did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, extremely happy for him. And you remember Nate last year. He's in the training room, and there was a lot of uncertainty, and he's trying and doing everything he could. So again, that was a lot on him, physically, mentally. So for him to get back out here with the pads on, compete with his guys, I'm really proud of him.
I didn't think he's done knocking off the rust that he said he had, which seemed natural after missing a full season.
Yeah, I think he's doing a nice job. It's totally reasonable to be rusty, like you mentioned, but he's really working on his technique. He's taking everything that Coach Howard and Coach Lynch and Coach Woods are giving him, and he's working really hard.
He's got a fighting spirit about him. How admirable is that? Just especially, how knocked down he could have been.
Yeah, I think, Marlo, anytime you're injured and you're away from the team, it's a lot. It's hard to go through, and he's kept fighting from the jump. So he's another great example of guys that you are faced with adversity, in this case football adversity and an injury, and he really overcame it.
Kevin, do you know right now how you plan to play guys in the preseason and budget their playing time, or is that something you won't decide till it gets closer?
We've had a lot of discussions about it, Zach. I think as we get to that week, we'll firm up some of those decisions, but it's certainly something that I've talked with the coaches about.
Do you have a better sense of what Sunday's going to look like with fans that are going to be there?
Yeah, it's going to be a nice spirited practice in First Energy Stadium. Going to be fun to be around our fans again in our building. But we'll have a nice 2-hour-long practice where guys are competing against each other. We'll do some red zone work. We'll do some 2-minute work. So they'll see some situational ball.
No tackling to the ground?
We shall see.
Considering it?
Consider everything, Tony.
When the Giants come here in a couple weeks, obviously a lot of logistical stuff has to happen, but taking that aside, how high on that was your priority list for getting that done this summer?
Yeah, I think it's always a great opportunity to go up against another team, and for us it just worked out really well. Schematically, they're different than us on offense and on defense, so both of our units get to face a different unit, and I just think it's a great point in camp when you're tired of going against your own guys and you're tired of going against the same scheme to mix it up and get really good competitive work in a controlled environment.
Some teams are doing 2 of those. Did you consider that at all?
Like I said to Tony, we consider everything, but we felt like this was the right way to do it.
As a fan of the two-team joint practices, with preseason being cut to 3 games, there's a lot of teams around the league, they haven't done them in the past, and they're starting to do them now. Do you foresee that that's going to be a trend around the NFL where teams are going to do more of the joint practices to kind of, I guess, make up for not having that 4th preseason game against a different opponent?
Yeah, they certainly that definitely could be in the future, Daryl. I do think it's just great chance to get 2 teams on a field you get to determine what you want to do. And for instance, sometimes you get into a preseason game and you don't have an opportunity for a 2-minute drill. Well, now you can control it. You can get exactly what you want to get, again, in that setting where you're typically taking care of each other, being safe, and those type of things.
Kevin, what's impressed you most about Peoples-Jones thus far in this game?
He's done a nice job. I mean, he's physically, when he showed up on campus here, he was ready to roll and looked great. Worked very hard in the off season. He's been productive in practice, catching balls that are coming to him. And then probably the most impressive thing, Nate, is special teams, running around, returning kicks, covering kicks. So he's an all-day guy right now. He's really going.
Do you think about just dropping a young, really talented guy like him into the room he's in with Chad O'Shea and obviously Odell and Jarvis, what that could mean for his future?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal when you're raising these rookies, the rooms that they grow up in, so to speak. So to be around some veterans that have done it at a high level, to be around a coach like Coach O'Shea who's got the multiple Super Bowl rings to prove it, I think that's great for a player's development.
I remember when you took the job, you were adamant about having a fullback on the roster. When you had a bunch of tight ends and a bunch of receivers and you have good running backs, do you still feel as strongly about the fullback position?
I think we feel strongly about the position, Scott. We got to see how it shakes out. We like our 2 fullbacks we have. It's a competitive group, and then those type of discussions occur over time.
A weekend, is there anything that struck you about Greg Newsom?
Similar to Donovan Peoples-Jones, he can run, and he runs all day, and he gets a ton of reps. He's out there on special teams, so there's no shortage to what he's doing right now. We're really throwing a lot at him, and he's been able to handle all of it.
Kevin, I apologize if this is repetitive because I'm guessing you asked about this guy quite a bit, which is parachute and Jadeveon Clowney, how he's fit into the group, on field, classroom, everything.
Yeah, really good fit. Cultural, he's been great to be around. Fun teammate, enjoys practice. He's having fun, and I think he talked about it with you guys. He's healthy, so he's feeling good and moving around. And then the fit schematically, he's played in systems similar to this, so it's fun to see him be very disruptive throughout the course of practice.
Kevin, I know you're always evaluating, but do you put a little more emphasis on the scrimmage this week and then maybe even a little bit more emphasis on the joint practices than you would like a normal practice like today?
No, I think it's all part of the evaluation, and it's really a practice down there on Sunday. You can call it a scrimmage if you want, but we're still trying to get better, and we're not. It's not time for the lights to come on. That'll happen in Jacksonville.